Oh, they heard you. And now they can't unhear it. You didn't just say something. No, no, no. You injected a virus into their certainty. A sentence so surgically precise, it slipped past their ego's firewall and detonated behind their eyes when they were half asleep. You know the type of line I'm talking about. The kind that doesn't echo. It lingers, like a phantom breath on their neck in the dark. The kind of words that twist and tighten over time, until the voice in their head isn't their own anymore. It's yours. Now look at 'em, shaking hands, hollow stares, palms sweating at 3 a.m. because their conscience finally got a signal through the static. And it's your tone that's playing on loop. You didn't give them advice. You gave them a mirror, one they tried to shatter, one they swore was broken, one they now secretly kneel in front of, trying to bargain with a reflection that won't blink. Isn't it beautiful? They laughed. They all laughed, mocked, rolled their eyes, shrugged it off like you were just being dramatic. But something about how you said it, the calm in the chaos, the smile while bleeding, it didn't make sense to them. And that's what haunts them most. Because now, they're starting to suspect. You weren't angry? You were right. That is psychological annihilation. You see, most people fear rage, but you weaponized stillness. No shouting, no grand performance, just that cold-blooded sentence. The kind that makes demons remember their humanity and humans remember their demons. And now, they're replaying it like a forensic analyst, combing through audio tapes of a crime scene they committed, but never got caught for. Why? Because you didn't threaten them. You exposed them. And that's always worse. You knew something. Something they thought they hid behind masks, makeup, manners, and martyrdom. And in a single moment, your sentence dismantled their script. Their defense mechanisms glitched. Their programming froze. You weren't supposed to know that. You weren't supposed to see through that. But you did. And now they wake up sweating. Because they realized you weren't trying to win the argument. You were planting a psychological landmine that wouldn't go off until they got comfortable again. Boom, that's the thing with people like you. You're not loud. You're not reckless. You're surgical. You don't attack people. You let their lies detonate in their own nervous system. And now the echo chamber they built around themselves, it's collapsing, because one crack in the foundation is all it takes when that crack is made of truth. And the irony? They would have forgiven you if you screamed. They would have dismissed you if you cried. But you didn't. You just said it. With that smile. That terrifying, knowing smile. The one that makes grown men shiver and narcissists sweat. You said it like someone who's been to hell and redecorated. You said it like someone who's been dissected by betrayal, burned by loyalty, and rebuilt by silence. You said it like a villain with holy hands, a saint with demon eyes. And now, they're begging their memories to shut up. They're trying to pray the echo away, but it's too late. The conversation they thought they had, it's a ritual now, a psychic tether, an emotional haunting. You don't need revenge. They're rotting from the inside out. And the most delicious part? No one else knows. They still show up, smiling, laughing, performing. But underneath, they're unraveling, one intrusive thought at a time. Every time they hear your name, J-O-L-T. Every time someone uses your phrase, flinch. Every time someone looks at them for a second too long, panic. Because what if you told someone else? What if you weren't the only one who saw it? That's what keeps them up. Not guilt, not shame, exposure. And you're not chasing them. You're not watching them. You're just waiting. Because you know how this story ends. They'll either break or come crawling back for closure. But you don't offer closure, do you? No. You offer reflection. And reflection, that's the one thing they'll never survive. So, let them sweat. Let them run. Let them pretend they're unbothered. That's the game now, isn't it? You say one thing, and they destroy themselves trying to forget it. That's not influence. That's not power. That's legend. And you're the ghost in their system now, the virus in their logic, the whisper in their nightmares. Welcome to the end game, where silence is strategy, and your truth is the most lethal sentence they'll ever survive. If they do, and if they don't, well, you warned them, didn't you? Didn't you? You see, they thought the worst thing that could happen was you lashing out. They were prepared for anger. They had comebacks rehearsed, screenshots saved, allies waiting in the wings to defend them when the drama broke out. But when you didn't react, when you just spoke one line and vanished like a ghost that leaves claw marks in the air, that's when the real torment began. Because now, there's nothing to fight, no scandal to twist, no drama to control, no noise to drown out that one perfect sentence. That's the genius of it, isn't it? You didn't stab them. You handed them the knife, smiled, turned around, and let their own conscience do the carving. Every time they look in the mirror now, they see you, not your face, your knowing. That calm, surgical knowing that cuts deeper than rage ever could. And now, they've started diagnosing themselves in private. Was I manipulative? Am I the problem? Did they know what I was hiding? Yes. You didn't just see them, you decoded them. You stripped their masks so clean, they felt naked in rooms full of people. But here's the thing, they asked for it. They baited it. They poked the beast. They tugged at your past like it was a costume they could mock. They laughed at your silence like it meant surrender. They mistook your mercy for weakness. And when you finally spoke, you didn't give them fire. You gave them the ice of truth. The kind that burns slower, longer, colder. The kind that slips into the bloodstream and freezes the ego in place, leaving only the memory of your voice and that one line they can't stop playing on repeat. And now, every decision they make is defensive. Every relationship they enter is paranoid. Every compliment they receive is suspect, because they're no longer sure who's pretending and who sees what you saw. That's what you created. Not a wound, a fracture, invisible to the eye, but devastating to the soul. And it started with just a sentence. Not a threat, not a flex, not even a scream. Just the kind of sentence that only someone who's died before knows how to say. You've been through too much to bark, too evolved to whimper, too precise to waste breath on noise. You don't deliver warnings, you deliver revelations, and they weren't ready. They never are. Because people like that. They feed off chaos they can control. They manipulate pain they understand. But you're not pain. You're evolution, the kind that terrifies the stagnant. You are the aftershock to their delusion of dominance. You are the consequence their ego never calculated. You are the poetic injustice served cold by fate in a joker's grin. And now they're spiraling, not because you hurt them, but because you saw too much and didn't need to stay. That's what kills them most. You left. No war, no noise, just silence that speaks louder than their screams ever could. And that's what keeps them up. Not what you said, but why it still hurts. Because it wasn't just accurate, it was surgical. It was custom built to detonate their illusion at its core. It was the kind of line only someone who once loved them could say without flinching. The kind of truth that can't be unwrapped without bleeding. And now, they're praying for distance, but every mile they run only tightens the leash of that echo. And somewhere deep down, they know. You didn't even try. That was just a glimpse, a preview, a quiet sample of the depth you carry. And it shattered them. So imagine what would have happened if you really unleashed it. That's the other panic, isn't it? They don't know how much you actually saw. They don't know what you chose not to say. They don't know how much mercy was in your silence. And now, they live every day guessing which part of the truth you might release next. Or worse, who else already suspects it? Because if you figured it out, who else might be waking up too? That's the horror show on repeat now. The apocalypse in their mind, the personal Armageddon behind those fake laughs and scrolls and staged photos. So go ahead, let them perform, let them post, let them pretend, because deep inside, they're dying, not from your words, but from the fact that your words were the only honest ones in the entire scene, and that will eat them alive until they finally break. But you've already moved on, haven't you? Moved on? No, ascended, because once you've cracked the code, once you've seen how fragile their fortress of lies really is, you don't just move on. You evolve past them, and they feel that. They don't understand it, but they feel it in their spine, in the pit of their stomach, in that haunted split second where someone mentions your name and they freeze. Because somewhere deep in their subconscious they know you didn't leave them behind. You outgrew the entire ecosystem they were still crawling in. And that kind of realization, it humiliates them, not publicly. No. This isn't some TikTok breakdown they can share with sad music and a redemption arc. No, this is private suffering, sacred torment. The kind you can't confess to anyone because to say it out loud would mean admitting, they were right about me, and I never healed from it. And that's the most damning confession a fragile ego can choke on. But it gets better, because now they've started hallucinating your presence. They're in a room. Someone shifts their tone just slightly. A phrase slips out that sounds a bit too familiar. A gesture, a glance, a pause. Wait, did you talk to them? Paranoia. Delicious paranoia. Because the moment you delivered that one sentence, that psychic scalpel, you activated something in them that will never shut off. It rewired their perception. You didn't make a point. You infected their reality. And now, every time someone holds them accountable, they see you. Every time they're confronted with truth, they hear you. Every time they feel that creeping sensation of being understood a little too well, they blame you. You became the ghost they can't exorcise. And what's worse, you're not even trying. You're not lurking. You're not watching. You're not even curious. You're just gone. And that level of disinterest, it's lethal. Because nothing breaks a narcissist more violently than realizing the person they were trying to dominate doesn't even care to look back. Not out of hate, not out of vengeance, but because you've become too powerful to waste energy on the dead. That's what you did. You buried them alive, in their own guilt, in their own projection, in the very illusion they tried to trap you in. And the best part? They're still pretending they're fine, still uploading smiles, still curating captions, still gathering applause from people who have no idea that behind the eyes, it's a f***ing horror movie. But you know, you always knew. Because that line you dropped, that wasn't a guess. It was a diagnosis. You read them like a leaked case file. Every tick, every tell, every glitch in their body language was screaming for someone to see through the act. And you did. And now, they'll spend the rest of their life trying to become someone who could have survived that conversation without unraveling. But it's too late. Because now they know. There exists a version of themselves that you already saw. The pathetic one. The manipulative one. The coward in king's clothing. And once you've been seen like that, once your armor has been decoded by someone who didn't flinch, you don't get to feel powerful again. You don't get to win again. You just perform, desperately, loudly, incessantly, trying to prove to yourself that the version they saw wasn't real. But it was. And they'll never unknow that. So let them post, let them preach, let them perform. You don't need revenge. You already gave them a punishment no cage could compete with, a truth they can never outrun. That's the curse of being observed by someone real, not someone jealous, not someone angry, not someone wounded, but someone who's already died and come back smarter. You, with your paradoxes, your saint psychopath energy, your demon halo, your haunted, holy grin that terrifies liars and comforts monsters in hiding. You didn't expose them. You did something worse. You made them witness themselves. And that's the one reflection they'll never recover from. Because deep down, they knew they were weak. They just didn't expect you'd be the one to name it. So effortlessly, so precisely, so silently. And that silence, still ringing, still echoing, still eating them alive, one sleepless night at a time. And you're not done. You're just getting started. You know what I love about all this? It's not even about you anymore. You've transcended that. You're not a person in their world. You're a phenomenon. You've become a trigger, a mirror, a warning label on every emotion they can't control, a walking consequence they can't unmeet. You're not the one that got away. You're the one who left fingerprints on their nervous system. They're not just haunted, they're reprogrammed. You rewired the circuitry they used to manipulate others with. The same mind games they used to play like chess. Now they second guess every move. Why? Because what you said turned their strategies into suicide missions. Every word out of their mouth now gets screened by paranoia. Am I being seen through again? Did I just say something that sounds fake? Will this person clock me the way they did? You turned their own intelligence against them. And that's the real kill shot. Because you didn't destroy them. You made them destroy themselves, with self-doubt, with spiraling, with the terrifying possibility that they might never rebuild the mask you shattered. You think they're moving on? No. They're just switching audiences, but the stage, the script, the performance, still bleeding. And the crowd they're playing to now. They can feel it. They may not say it, but they sense the cracks. They see the way the smile trembles at the edges, the way the voice wavers mid-sentence, the way every confident posture ends in a subtle twitch. Because what you said didn't just hit them, it infected their persona. Now every room they enter, they wonder who knows, who suspects, who's seen that one little fracture you exposed so cleanly. And that anxiety, it's eternal. Because here's the part no one warns them about. When you've finally been seen by someone who doesn't flinch, who doesn't beg, who doesn't need anything from you, you don't just lose the person, you lose your power permanently. Because once someone calls out your performance and walks away smiling, you can't go back to acting. You just become a parody of yourself. And every time you try to rise again, you feel their eyes, even if they're not in the room, even if they're not online, even if they've never spoken your name again. It doesn't matter, because now you live in their shadow. You're no longer the villain in their story. You're the narrator. Every decision they make now, they filter it through your sentence. Every time they speak, they remember your silence, and every time they lie, they hear your voice reminding them, I already know. And that's what keeps them up at night. Not the fear of being caught, but the certainty that they already were. Not by a crowd, not by karma, but by you. And you didn't even raise your voice. That's what terrifies them. Because all their power came from being louder. Louder than the truth. Louder than the doubt. Louder than the damage. But you whispered. And that whisper still echoes louder than their entire personality. Now, look what you've become. You're not someone they can warn others about. You're not someone they can cancel, silence, or spin into a villain. You are unspeakable. They don't bring your name up in conversations anymore. Not because you're irrelevant, but because mentioning you opens the door to questions they can't answer. Questions like, what really happened? Why are you so defensive when their name comes up? Why do you twitch every time someone brings up accountability? Why do you still watch their stories in silence? They can't even risk those questions, because every question is a trail of breadcrumbs back to that moment. The moment you saw them and didn't blink. That wasn't a mic drop, that was a psychic execution. And now, they're still breathing, still walking, still smiling. But inside, they're a crime scene. And you're not the suspect. You're not the victim. You're not the hero. You're the glitch in their story arc. The anomaly that proves their entire persona was built on fragile code. A code you cracked with a sentence so subtle, so sharp, it slipped in like poetry and exploded like prophecy. You didn't just speak. You activated karma. You weren't trying to hurt them. You were just trying to be honest. And your honesty was catastrophic, because the truth doesn't kill people. It reveals who's already dying. So let them rot behind those curated posts. Let them laugh a little too loud at jokes that don't land. Let them overcompensate with performative healing and spiritual bypassing and false humility. Because everybody's watching, and sooner or later, the mask will slip.